Hello everyone, and welcome back to episode 24 of my F1 2016 Max Career Mode, where today we are at the Chinese Grand Prix. Now, if you guys don't remember last season, we actually got a puncture at this Grand Prix. We were running in second until I think the very last lap, and then we managed to get a puncture halfway around the track. Doesn't remind you of AOR whatsoever, but so far this championship was 6 points behind Nico Rosberg. Hopefully, going to maintain the momentum from the win we got last time out. If you guys are new to this series, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll leave links to the playlist to the other videos down in the description. But as you can see now, just going through the final sector of our track acclimatization lap, we did a very good lap there. Can be very happy with that. 2 greens and the rest purple, and I think we did get the full R&D there. Yes, we did. The full 50 points. That was very strong. I always say the R&D really does set the tone for the weekend. And now moving on to our qualifying pace, we are going to set the first lap that we do, and that is going to give us another 30 R&D points. R&D this year really critical for us, because I honestly do believe we are in the championship fight here this season, and hopefully, we should be able to push towards the top. I don't know whether we'll ever reach the point of having the quickest car, but I think we do outperform the car slightly in this series. And now, as we can see, coming to the end of practice, how many R&D points are we going to get there? We're going to get 10 from the pass, track acclimatization 50, quality for sim 30, we get a few more from just little bug things there, and we're up to 950 R&D points there, which is very strong. Just having a look, what do the team want us to achieve in qualifying? You can pause the screen now, I'm not going to run through it. But yeah, then, if we're going to have a look on the laptop, are we going to put any upgrades on the car? I was really thinking about it, get some upgrades out for Russia, and I think, yes, we're going to go with the front cone nose structure there, or however you're meant to say it. And that's going to be an upgrade ready for Russia then, guys. So really, trying to bang on the upgrades early on in this season. We had 4 upgrades, I think, come last race as well, Bahrain, just for obviously Season 1 RNG saved up points. But now moving on to our first qualifying round, obviously in Q3 here. As you can see, just coming through the final corner, what lap time are we going to be able to do is we take a lot of curve through the final corner there. You really want to avoid the curves on this game. And we go P4, just behind Felipe Massa there on the set of soft tyres. So the Williams meant to be... They're feeling very confident, obviously it is only Q1, but they're feeling very confident, that they should be able to get through the session pretty easily there. As we can see, just having a look now, we are still in, I think that's P9 there, and just dropping down the order here. I don't think we'll go outside the top 10, and I'm really not too worried about trying to put in a really quick lap. But we're now balanced here right on the edge here in P16, and we're still skipping through the time. This is very much just a game of who dares wins here, as you can see. We're right on the edge of the best lap. But is anyone going to be able to beat us? I don't think they are. And we managed to hold on to this P16 there as well. I wasn't really too worried about, we were so far down the grid there. But P16, we just made it through into Q2. We knocked out Jensen Button, Esteban Gutierrez, Jolyon Palmer, Felipe Nasser, and the Manners there. A bit unfortunate for those guys, but still, now moving on into Q2 here, as you can see. Just coming through the final corner here, as you can see, taking a lot of curve once again there. And just coming towards the line, we go into P5 there, just 1.2 seconds off Lewis Hamilton. But coming into there, we accidentally end the session there rather than skimming to Q3. And unfortunately, we actually got pumped out of the session there. And that was a huge shame. We got a couple of people with 5-place grid penalties. Romain Grosjean for illegal blocking and Felipe Massa for crashing into Romain Grosjean. So I don't really know what's gone on there between those two, but I can have a good idea about it. But yeah, so we ended up, we'll end up starting, I think, in P10 there. Unless the game glitches out, which, it's Codemasters F1 games, it probably will. But still, yeah, so P10 on the grid for the Chinese Grand Prix. Not as strong as I would have liked. I'd like to think coming out of this Grand Prix, we could be ahead of Nico Rosberg in the standings. But that would mean if we won, he'd finish second. We'd be ahead by 1 single point in this championship. And obviously, we'll have to wait and see. But here we are then at the Chinese Grand Prix.
Felipe Massa passed Jensen Button into turn 1 at the very first Chinese Grand Prix in 2004. Shanghai has consistently provided close racing and extraordinary memories. It's where Lewis Hamilton were almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and P2 goes to Daniel Ricciardo. A strong showing from the Australian. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Rosberg, Hamilton, Max Verstappen, and Bottas, Perez, Raikkonen, a Force India, and Kevin Magnussen. Massa, Palmer, Romain Grosjean, and Kvyat, Sainz, Ericsson, Felipe Nasser, and Fernando Alonso. Button and Wehrlein, Rio Haryanto, and Esteban Gutierrez completes the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Not really too sure what we can say about that grid, although that was incredibly jumbled up. But still, now just looking on the race strategy here, we're going to underfuel the car. No, we're not. We're actually going to run it just over fuel, so, you know, we're going to be trying to run rich mix down that long back straight very often in this Grand Prix. But now moving on to our formation lap here, Kimi Räikkönen just ahead of us on a set of soft tyres there. So a change of strategy between us that I really wish, you know, I'd gone with the soft tyres to begin this race in hindsight, but obviously we'll have to wait and see about that. Just obviously from AMR as well, you know that like you can potentially run a 2-stop with the softs, but it's incredibly, sorry, a 1-stop with the softs, but it's incredibly difficult to do so on the super softs. But here we are then, 5 lights for the Chinese Grand Prix, and away we go. And it was actually a pretty damn good start. Like Kimi Räikkönen bogs down massively there, as Bottas does so as well a little bit, as well as Perez gets caught up behind Verstappen ahead of us. We're just going to hold it on the outside, try and keep it clean through turn 1. Bottas is leaning on my teammate Perez, as we've got someone trying to go down our inside there, as there's yellow flags out, as Raikkonen looks to be going sideways there, as we get an illegal overtake on our teammate, as Raikkonen now tries to hold it around the outside, but we're just going to have to close him out from that. And we move up into P8 there, so a very good start there, you know, getting past the Ferrari, which is probably what we needed to do, you know, as he's on a set of soft tyres. But now looking coming towards the snail section of this first lap of the Chinese Grand Prix here. Closing in on a teammate there as we go through the middle sector. We're not going to make a move into this corner because obviously we've just got such a long back straight here. And of course India is so strong in the straights now. We've really built it up as a straight line beast on this game. And it's pretty incredible to see, obviously, just slipstreaming our teammate now. Obviously, he might be able to get the run on Bottas as well. Hopefully, you know, we're just going to fling him into rich mix. Yes, we do. Checking the tyres as well, make sure, you know, we'll see roughly what sort of wear we're going to be getting. But 225 miles an hour, 226 miles an hour. Braking a little bit early into the corner there. Don't want to clatter into the back of Valtteri Bottas. But they move up into P7 of the Chinese Grand Prix there. It's been a very good opening lap for ourselves. You know, no contact as well. And very clean as we take out the pole on the inside there, the final corner. As Ricciardo is in the lead of this Grand Prix. But we're going to have a look up the inside of Valtteri Bottas here. Are we going to be able to make the move stick? Yes, I think we should be able to there. If we just move up the inside, Bottas backs out of it very early there. And we move now on up into P6 of the Grand Prix. And that is a very good start, an opening lap. But now as we can see, moving on to the end of lap 2 here, we've got Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg going side by side towards the final corner there. That's probably not going to end up going too well for those guys. Toto Wolff will probably be shitting his pants at this point. But still, Verstappen and Vettel now getting compromised runs because of that. Us in our straight line speed beast here is just going to move straight past Verstappen there. Don't go for the move on Vettel, as I thought he might be going for a move on Mercedes there. But we managed to move up into P5 there, force Verstappen very wide. Now at the inside of Sebastian Vettel, who's actually on a set of soft tyres here. So Vettel trying to go for a very interesting strategy. And good job for him, you know, the fact that he's keeping up with the Mercedes. But we're going to get an absolutely beautiful run around the outside there, and up the inside of Lewis Hamilton there, as Rosberg and him get caught up, and up the inside of Nico Rosberg there. So that's 4 overtakes in the first sector, and that is absolutely wonderful to see there for ourselves. And we move up into P2 of the Grand Prix, and now at the end of lap 3, we're actually going to move up into the lead, as Daniel Ricciardo comes in for a very early first stop there. And so does our teammate as well, so not really sure what those guys are thinking, whether they're going to go for a 3-stop or not. But still, that means we've inherited the lead, ahead of Nico Rosberg and Sebastian Vettel in this Chinese Grand Prix. And now, as we can see, moving on to midway round lap 4 here, just a little bit further on, as you can see, Nico Rosberg is still right behind us here, and we just run it over the grass slightly there, and we've actually lost the lead there, a bit of a shame to see, but still, that means we're just going to have to push harder and harder to get back to him. It's pretty much this sort of stage where the soft tyres and the super softs are pretty much equal out in pace, where the super softs have got a lot more worn at this stage, and the softs just still have a lot of grip to utilise. But coming through the fast S section, are we going to be able to close in on Nico Rosberg here? Just so much, not so much downforce on this car. Just it's completely built for straights here, but we do still close in fairly well there, you know, just with how OP slipstream is in this game. And hopefully, you know, we maximise our run onto the long back straight here. Not sure whether we will be able to, as we are quite far back. Obviously, DRS now is in use, so we're just going to hopefully close up on him into the next couple of corners. Work on maximising our run through the DRS zone, trying to avoid the curb as much as you can, because curves just slow you down so much on this game. And hopefully now we will be able to flick them into rich mix. Hopefully as well, you know, we'll have the DRS, but we'll have to wait and see. And yes, we do have the DRS, flinging them into rich. And what are we going to be able to close in on Nico Rosberg? Let's see how fast we also manage to clock as well. We've got Vettel right in the slipstream, he's not going to be able to do anything about it. And we go for the dive bomb on Nico Rosberg, completely outbrake ourselves there. And we're going to lose the lead, we lose P2 as well there. And Valtteri Bottas is also going to go up our inside. But he's also going to come into the pits at the end of this lap, and that really put myself off, because we were hugely wide through the final corner there. Really wish, we'd actually pit at the end of this lap in hindsight. But still, obviously, going to stay out for one more lap here, going very long on these set of soft tyres here. But that's, Sebastian Vettel and Nico Rosberg there are just going to absolutely walk off into the distance here, as they're going to continue fighting. As you can see, Sebastian Vettel actually going for a move up the inside of Nico Rosberg there, and he gets the move done as well. Our tyres are well into the 60% here, so it's not looking too good for these tyres, but we've managed to hold them on for as long as we possibly could. P3 still, 5 laps into the race, is still very strong. As we're going to come into the pits, we do a famous Lewis Hamilton there, absolutely beautiful scenes to see. Luckily, we managed to keep the wheels spinning there. But coming into the pits now, making sure, we don't get pit lane speeding limit penalty there. I'm surprised we haven't actually managed to get one this season so far, this career mode even. But still, hopefully this pit stop should be a good one. Moving on to a set of soft tyres, and is that 2.0 or 2.9? I can't tell, the screen's too small. It's still a fairly strong time there. As we come out of the pits in P17 there. Not too worried about that, as a lot of drivers have already made their pit stops. But meanwhile, now on lap 7, as you can see, a couple of drivers have made their pit stops as we move back up into P15 here. But Lewis Hamilton just ahead of us here, behind Daniel Ricciardo, and just a huge train of back markers here. As the back markers, I think, are going to be making their pit stops very soon. So a huge shape for Daniel Ricciardo and Lewis Hamilton. These back markers pretty much ruin their race here, as we just go up the inside of both of them, of our championship rivals of this little herd of cars. Let's hope, now let's just show these noobs and what the straight line speed of a Force India can really do. As you've got Esteban Gutierrez in the Haas behind two Manners, Sauber and a Renault, I think there. But now with the slipstream, with the DRS, what top speed are we going to be able to achieve? I think one of the Red Bulls is trying to come back at us, but we're going to hit 229 miles an hour. Move up the inside of Gutierrez very early on the brakes there. As we've got Palmer and Verline going side by side. It's great to see these back markers fight. Shame, it's ahead of me, blue flags if I was Sebastian Vettel. But still cutting the final corner there ever so slightly, as we make ever so slight contact with Rio Haryanto there, just bang tyres slightly. And we move up into P11 of the Grand Prix. Are we going to be able to make a move up the inside of NASA? Yes, we do. Are we going to be able to take a stick? No, NASA shuts the door there as we nearly lose the back end. As Palmer and Verline go side by side, make a little bit of contact. And we're going to move up into P7 of the Grand Prix there to make 3 overtakes in that first corner. Considering we're going sideways, sorry. That is, I think, pretty achievable. I think, we can be happy with that. And next up on our hit list is Jenson Button at this stage of the Grand Prix. And now moving on to lap 12, as you can see, we're back up into P2, as so many drivers have now made their pit stops. And we're just, 12 seconds behind Sebastian Vettel. And this is not looking particularly good for myself, but we're actually going to dive into the pits for our third and final pit stop of the race here. As we can see, moving on to a set of medium tyres here. It was the right time to do so, I think. If we're ever going to close the gap to Sebastian Vettel, I think realistically we do need a safety car at this stage of the Grand Prix. But coming through the pit lane now, once again managed to not get a pit lane speeding limit penalty. But still, what's the time going to be? It's going to be a 2. That's definitely a 2.9 that time. I can see the difference there. And what position are we going to come out the pits? So I think it's going to be around sort of P12, P11 maybe. And what position is it going to be? It's going to be P11 there, right behind Lewis Hamilton and just outside the points, which is a bit unfortunate for myself, I won't lie, but still coming through now through the, I could say the snail section, but this just monotonous right and then left-hander, just painful and so bad for the tyres as well. But now, as you can see, we've got green flags there. I'm not really sure what that's all about, but now we've got a safety car, and I'm really not sure what that's about. We've seen no driver go out at this stage, so really don't know what that's all about, in all honesty. But I'm not going to complain. It's going to mean we're going to get a lot of time on the AI ahead of us here, as you can see. Just making sure we keep it within the delta time, and also we don't stretch the tyres too much. As you can see, coming towards the end of the first lap of the safety car, how many drivers are going to come in for the pit stops? I do wonder. It says they all seem to have just made a car park on the pit lane. What is going on there, guys? Let's just have a look at that. That seems to be incredibly odd. And let's just have a look then from the top driver, and we've got a Toro Rosso there just parked on the inside with my teammate Sergio Perez just parked behind him. As you can see, just coming towards the pit lane here, as you can see, the Haas has just gone there and decided, nah, actually can't be us as well. May as well go on an economy drive. As I think, Fernando Alonso has also done the same thing there. I'm not really sure about that, what's going on there, but still, I'm not going to complain. It's going to make me a lot of positions. It's a shame Sergio was stuck in that mess, but still, obviously now behind Sebastian Vettel, and this was looking very strong for me, because he's on a set of super soft tyres here, and we don't need to make another pit stop, and he definitely does. Or I was hoping not to make another pit stop in this Grand Prix. The safety car's coming in this lap. We need to get right on Sebastian Vettel's gearbox there, as we're actually going to give him a little bit of contact, and that's going to encourage him to speed up But still, hopefully, we'll be able to flick him with rich, because we've saved a lot of fuel during the safety car period. Having to just making sure, we're going for the overtake very, very soon. And hopefully, Sebastian Vettel actually nails the exit. And Perez is now out of the race. I was just talking about how unfortunate that was for him. And what's happened to Perez? Has there been contact under the safety car, like when we're going back up to race pace? As you can see, just moving backwards here, let's have a look at Perez. It doesn't look like there's going to be any. So I'm going to take it there's going to be an engine retirement for my teammate there. As we come out the final corner, this is pretty much where the green flags went. And Perez's engine just goes, nah, actually, mate, it can't be asked. And that is a huge, huge shame for Sergio there. But now moving on to the end of lap 17, Vettel comes in for his pit stop. I think that's probably going to be his final pit stop of the day. As we've got Kimi Raikkonen now, is the car right behind us. But now on lap 22, as we can see, Kimi Raikkonen has come into the pits. We're going to come into the pits for another set of tyres as well. Bit of an interesting call by myself, weren't I, that we had such a big advantage over so many AI. I thought we may as well just not risk the tyres at this stage of the Grand Prix there. Where are we going to do? Yes, we are. We're going to lose P1 in this Grand Prix there. But Hamilton, I think, will probably come in for a pit stop as well at this stage. He's going to try and match my strategy here. But we go on to a set of super soft tyres here. Hopefully, if we're ahead of Sebastian Vettel and Kimi Raikkonen, we should be in a very, very strong position here. With 5 laps to go in this Grand Prix, obviously, it's not an easy thing to do with these soft tyres. You will have to stretch them. It's it's not going to be too difficult. We actually come out in P2 of the Grand Prix here. Now I thought we'd see a grand chase, but I was right in saying that Lewis Hamilton would come into the pits. As you can see on the mini-map in the bottom left-hand corner there, and it's looking like we should be able to pretty much just waltz away with the rest of this Grand Prix here. Just going to let them run through the tyres, and the tyres are actually going to be about 70% wear by the end of this Grand Prix. But we move back up into the lead of this Grand Prix here on lap 24. 4 laps to go. Basically just got to coast at home now as Rosberg takes P2 from Lewis Hamilton. But Hamilton's on a quick set tyres. We're now just going to have to fuel save, well, not fuel save, but fuel manage for the rest of the race. As we can see now on lap 28, I'm basically losing my voice at this stage, but Nico Rosberg now is right behind us, as him and Lewis Hamilton are really close in the gap as we've tried saving our tyres. We've actually done pretty well to save the tyres to this low wear, but still, it's not been the best final lap of the Grand Prix here. Hopefully, Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton won't be able to get past us, but I'm not feeling too confident for obviously the back straight. Obviously, they've got Mercedes power units as well with a little bit more power than myself. So hopefully, even with this slipstream monster and straight line speed beast, we should be able to defend something over it. But still, obviously, our tyres are falling off the cliff here. Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton definitely not drivers that don't know how to win races here in this career mode. Nico Rosberg obviously still trying to defend his World Championship, and it's looking very, very strong for him in these first opening couple of rounds here. But hopefully, if we hold on to this position coming down the back straight, we will be able to take the championship lead off. And we run hugely, hugely wide there, though. And Rosberg's just going to throw it up the inside there. And hopefully, slipstream versus DRS, who's going to come out on top here? We are closing back in, and we're going to have a look round the outside, but he's going to close the door there. So we're going to look up the inside. Are we going to be able to make the move? Stitch pretty much parking it on the apex there. Hamilton's going to try and follow us through there. But we're going to take back the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix. And as long as we don't muck up the final corner, we should be good. As Hamilton and Rosberg go side by side there, Rosberg's going to keep the position, but we're going to come through to take home the Chinese Grand Prix. Back-to-back wins in this F1 2016 Force India career mode, and I cannot be any happier than that. An absolutely beautiful result there. Take home the full 25 points for Force India. Once again, they're another fantastic win for this career mode. I think that's my 6th or 7th win overall in this career mode. So, a very, very glittered career mode, if you will, so far. We are the race winner here today. An absolutely fantastic result for myself and the team. They're shame about Sergio Perez not managed to finish in this race. But anyway, guys, if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe if you are new around here. As I said at the start, I will leave links to the playlist down in the comments. If you guys also want to check out my F1 2010 career mode that I'm doing at the moment, I will leave links to that down in the description as well. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Take a look past our innocence. Take a step back to yesterday. When life would move slower, we would never grow up. All we knew that love was for when we're older. Anything could happen, secretly imagine. They could never tear us apart, too young to fall. This is